So here's a question for you, is how are you going to sell your product or service if nobody knows about it? I worked on a retreat, a spiritual retreat in New York. It was in Peekskill, I believe it was. And somebody showed up and signed up for this retreat that came from Fairbanks, Alaska. I said, how did you find this retreat in New York all the way from Fairbanks and came out for it? And she basically said she needed something in her life to break through certain limitations and barriers that she couldn't find anywhere else. And she thought what she Googled and found on the internet, called out to her. And that's how she found us and registered for it. So what I would say is, no matter how insignificant and how unimportant you may think putting a post or blog is on the internet, you never know who's going to be looking at it. So what that means with marketing is get the word out there. The more people that you put your information, your message in front of, and make sure the message is a good one, that's compelling, it's all numbers. If 100 people look at it, maybe you get 1%, 3%. You get 1,000, it's still 1 or 3%, but the numbers go up. So you want to get as much information out there as possible in different areas. And when I talk about marketing, I'm looking at multiple tiers or pillars of marketing. So it's not just doing stuff on the internet. It may be doing direct mail. It may be going public relations and having articles or reporters report on me. I've been on TV, radio, and newspaper. So I have other people pointing to my site. As a matter of fact, on Google, I used to rank #1. Now I'm #2 when you Google something that's about event marketing. So you want to think about it. When you go look for something, something you want to buy, and you Google something, how many pages are you willing to look through? So you want to do whatever you want to get on whatever you can to get on the first 2 pages of Google, because beyond the second page, not many people are going to go looking beyond 2 pages of Google. So marketing is very important. There's a whole strategy behind it, but it's very complex and something we probably can't share here, but I'm sure the presenters that we have here tonight have some really powerful insights and tidbits they could share for you. Otherwise, they wouldn't be as successful as they are today with what they've done. So I'd like to hand it over to Alan and have him share a little bit about marketing and how important it is and what everybody here is startups can do.
Marketing is usually one of the most expensive parts of your business plan, but obviously it's a great opportunity for you to differentiate your business. And if you can identify a key need or value to your consumer and communicate that in your marketing programs, you could differentiate yourself and create a unique niche for your business. So good marketing programs are really about understanding who your audience is, who your customer is, what's important to them, and what their primary needs are, and addressing those in your advertising programs. I mean, today there are a lot more resources available with online marketing. There's a lot of social media where there is little to no investment in terms of getting your name out and getting visibility, but really it's a sum total of everything you're doing, whether it be with print or broadcast or online combined, that really reaches and makes an impact on your audience.
So I think one of the most effective ways that you can get your business out there is through the press. And a lot of people will say, oh, I have to hire a PR firm. PR firms are incredibly expensive. They're anywhere from $5,000 to $20,000 a month. I think that's a huge waste of money, and it's a huge waste of time. The people that write in the newspapers that you care about and in the magazines you care about are just people. And they tend to be people who like a really good story. And they want to hear from the person behind that story. So when I first launched my company, I sent an email to magazine@newyorktimes.com. and said, hey, I'm 24 years old, I just started my own business, I thought I'd tell you about it in case you guys were interested. We wound up being the cover story of New York Times Magazine, and it was a 7-page story, and we got 500,000 people to come to our website the month we launched. That was literally, I wrote an email myself to magazine@nytimes.com. We were covered by Walt Mossberg in the Wall Street Journal. I emailed walt@wsj.com and said, hey, here's my company, you might be interested in it. And he said, oh, actually I am interested in it. We've now been featured in basically every single major publication you could think of. I've been on ABC News 50 times. I emailed one of the reporters at ABC News. I saw him on TV. I put in their name into Google. I found their email address. I put in their name and the @ symbol and abc.com. Eventually, I put in different permutations, like the first letter of their first name and then their last name, or just their last name. And eventually, something comes up where you can see their whole email address, and you figure it out. I shot her an email, and I said, oh, I saw you talking about education stuff. I could talk about education stuff. And they invited me on a program, and I've now been on ABC News 50+ times. You can figure out creative ways to get your business out there and to get your name out there if you try. It really just comes to having the confidence to say, you know what, I really do have something to say. I have something to contribute. I'm doing something interesting. And if you really believe you're doing something interesting, and you put in a little bit of legwork to tell the people in positions of influence, the people who write the stories or the people who put you on air, they might think what you're doing is interesting too. And if they do, you suddenly have your message spread for free to anywhere from thousands to hundreds of thousands of people. So I think it really is, when it comes to marketing your product, if you're honestly passionate about what you're doing and you honestly think what you're doing is interesting, just tell people that. And have the confidence that someone out there in a position of influence might think you're just as interesting as you do.